sounds around you and focus on them until they fade. Write down your self-evaluation of this experience in your journal. Trusting what you feel to find us requires you start paying attention. Remember when you were a kid and you tasted something you really liked and would explain in detail how it made you feel. Remember doing that? We just go into total bliss and talk about it. This is the kind of thing that your spirit guides want you to do now. You guys are sheltered in place for a reason. This is not an accident. This has been planned for decades so that you could see and experience this in your lifetime. This is a once in a lifetime experience that you're having right now. So I hope that you guys, in paying attention to your senses, I hope that you're using your journal, part 3, my journal writing, to take 15 minutes a day, like the guides suggest, to write in your journal about what is coming into your awareness. What are you realizing? What are you sensing? You need to start tracking this. This is going to be such valuable information in 6 months from now, in a year from now, in a decade from now, about what you experienced. So you could share this. So you could share this with the world, all right? You guys, you're in a golden opportunity right now. Most of you don't realize that. Okay, you need to start paying attention. All right, Ray, who do we have with us tonight, Ray?
Well, let's see, over here, one person didn't say their name yet. Okay, Kathy, Linda Schwartz, Mary Elizabeth. Did we just talk to Mary Elizabeth?
We did.
Oh,
yes.
Welcome back. And John Shred, somebody new.
Oh,
Hi,
good.
John.
Great, John. It's good to have you.
It's good to have new people.
Yeah,
we got a lot of new people each week.
Okay, so the guides are going to talk tonight about trust what you feel to find us. They're going to talk to you about it. Bring your questions. I want to see your questions. What is it? Trust what you feel to find us. What do you need to trust so you can find your guidance, so you can recognize that it's guidance when it comes through, so you know what to do and when to do it. Like Ray and I talked, we have our dreams. We share our dreams in the morning. It's the first thing we do before we even look at our computers to start the day. Okay? So it's so important to stay tuned in to what's being sent to you. It's so much smarter than what's happening here on the planet in the third dimension density, you know, like dense. We can reach higher, you guys. We can learn better. We can access more intelligent choices. All right. That's what this is about. That's why trust what you feel to find us. That's all you have to do is go back to trusting what that felt like when you were a kid. You didn't worry about trusting what you felt. You were wide open with what you felt. You lived in the bliss of how you felt. And you were connected. And when you needed to know something or you wondered about something, you got the answers. It was one flow after another. Okay? That's what this is. Ray, what do we have?
Yeah, let's see over here. Veronica joined us and Nancy Schaefer. Hi.
Great.
Hi.
And Nancy, she's from where?
Scotland.
So what time is it there, do you think, Ray?
It's awful early in the morning.
Nancy.
3 o'clock.
You're a trooper, Nancy. We're so glad to have you.
Insomniac, maybe.
She is. Well, she could be, Ray. I don't think she is. She's just going out of her way to join us.
That's right.
All right.
Okay. Well, I was reading through this today, and I just have some observations about how people make decisions. Just as, like the guide said here, until now, making good decisions was confused by doing what everyone else was doing and chasing something outside of yourself.
And mostly interrupted, you guys. All that has been interrupted. You guys have had a huge timeout that you're in right now. This global shelter-in-place economic shutdown. It's a game changer.
I mean, if you're making decisions based upon what others do, I mean, who's to say who made the right decision? Was it the first person who decided that we're going to go here for, for our girls' night out, and then everybody kind of just fell in line because that person made a decision? Or did they actually think about it and reason why you would go there?
Did they actually check in with themselves?
Right.
Okay, that's what's so beautiful about what's going on right now. You don't have any of those distractions or pressure on you to follow the pack.
Yeah, the pack would like to go back to what they were always doing.
But no, nobody knows what to do right now.
Right.
That's why guidance. That's why checking in with guidance. Great, come over here. That's why having this guidance is so valuable. Okay, so trust what you feel to find us. What Ray was talking about, what I was talking about. What are people doing since that distraction and that pressure that everyone else following the leader, like the lemmings going off the cliff, following each other off the cliff. Seems like we didn't, as a human race, we didn't have the capacity to stop ourselves from just doing the same thing and didn't know how to stop it. But guess what happened? This global timeout. Okay, so what are we supposed to be getting right now? Sorry.
Become in truth and love. What is your intent when you make a decision? Do you make decisions in order to have experiences in your life, which is why you're here? Or do you make decisions from a standpoint of desire or lack, and decide what stuff you want that you don't have? Do you allow your desires or chasing things to interrupt the experiences of your life?
That's the key. And that's what you need to ask yourself. And that's where you need to check yourself, so that you don't miss what it is that you feel. You don't doubt what it is that you feel. That's the big thing, you guys. You guys get this feeling. It doesn't feel right. There's something, although everybody's doing this one thing, but you say to yourself, I don't know why it doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't feel right. That's what you need to start to trust. What you feel is guidance coming through. That's how guidance speaks. It speaks through your feelings.
So Nancy corrected us. She's from Western New York State. Do we have another Nancy from Scotland?
Yeah, we do, Ray.
Who gets up in the middle of the night?
So she's from New York.
Yeah, this one.
Oh, good. Yeah. We like you, Nancy.
You're only 3 hours ahead of us.
We have exactly the same name of a lady, Nancy Schaefer. This is Nancy.
Maybe it's spelled differently.
Okay. Yeah, that's across the pond.
Yep. You've been getting a lot more European followers.
Yeah.
Lately.
Good, right? Yeah.
Good.
Well, we can reach the world like this, right, you guys? We would love to have your questions about trusting what you feel to find your guides, okay? That's the photograph I took of my guide in 1994, became the front cover of my award-winning, best-selling book, Guided. And they told me I would write that book 20 years before it was published. And they wouldn't let up on me. Again, trust what you feel to find us. When I sat down one day, I just sat down at my computer in August of 2012. And Ray and I were really busy working on other projects.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the urge to sit down and start writing the story of my life. That's how guidance shows up. I had the feeling to do it. And until I hit chapter 9, did I even realize this was the book they told me I was going to write 20 years earlier. So you guys, what do you feel? What is it you've been feeling in the last shelter in place time window of time that you've been given your life back so you can breathe again, so you can get your thoughts and wits about you, so you can reconnect, so you can become present and not let this life chase you around and make you feel lack and make you doubt yourself. What have you been feeling?
You know, a lot of the things that used to occupy your time, you can't do those now.
That's distractions.
Those are the distractions.
Those are gone now.
Right.
So now that those are gone, now that those have been pushed away, we didn't have the capacity to do it on our own.
Right.
You did not. If somebody told you, you're going to get a month and a half off. Whoa, I have to work. I've got to pay my rent. I can't afford a month and a half off. You would have argued with it. But now that you've been forced into it, are you using it well? Are you utilizing it? Are you seeing the benefit and the reason why? We've all been given this once in a lifetime historical opportunity to start writing down what it feels like.
Yeah.
And then you will find the guidance. It's in feeling, writing down what you feel, that you will know for sure what's right for you. Not based on what somebody else is doing or what's expected of you or any of that. That's why this is a golden opportunity right now to flush that out and never lose track of it again. This book is the companion journal to my flagship book, Guided. I wrote this book as a result of the fans that came at me and wanted to know how to make this connection to their own guides. They felt that they could do it after they listened or read Guided, all right? So that's why this is, and right now, you guys have a golden opportunity to find out. Trust what you feel to find us, to actually find your guidance and recognize it.
Okay. Why? Here's a good question. It's a why question.
Those are the best. Why questions have no agendas.
Why do people have such difficulty making decisions in the first place? And what's missing in that decision-making process right now that they're forced to be alone and focus
That's
on?
the question I want. That you got it. I got it.
Okay.
I got it. Okay. Start that out again, the way you worded it.
People have difficulty.
Okay, got it. I
normally
got it.
just
Ray,
making
I
decisions.
got it. Okay. Right now, nobody's had the answer, but you thought maybe they did. Okay. So you were kind of following things and kind of listening to other people and trying to, maybe that's a good way to do it, or now nobody has the answers. No one. Okay. Everything is off the table. Everything is random now. Everything's up for grabs. Anything's possible now. Okay. I could tell you guys a lot of things. We do a lot of coaching sessions. I could tell you a lot of things about what's coming down. But that's not important. What's important is that you tune into your own guidance. You slow down. You reconnect. You don't panic. Don't let this fear thing get a hold of you. The news, this and that, that thing and this other thing. And no, don't do that, you guys. This is where the truth resides, right here, where there's no, as long as you don't panic, as long as you're not in fear, you breathe and you start writing. Start writing 15 minutes a day to see what's in here, to see what's trying to come through you, okay? You've heard of automatic writing. What happens when you write for 15 minutes a day, you start to see their guidance infiltrate your writings. You're going to see it. It's called automatic writing. You get so used to doing this. In fact, you'll start loving your 15 minutes a day will turn into 30. You start writing in this. In part 3, you start writing in part 3. Just what came into your awareness that day. What was unusual or out of the ordinary that day that you would normally have missed because you would have been so distracted by life running you around. Okay, you've got your time back. This is your opportunity to flesh it out and see it. Nobody knows what to do. It's an equal playing field now. First time in your life that you are on an equal playing field now. This is game changing, you guys.
So it's the first time in your life that you've had an opportunity like this, but if you don't write it down, if we don't write it down what you're feeling about the situation that everybody's in and how you're reacting to it, you won't be able to do it in the future.
No.
Because people, how you feel about the past is different than how it actually happened, based on a lot of things. Based upon, did you like the way it happened then or not? See, people say, oh, well, I wish the old good old days would come back. Well, the good old days weren't as good as you remember them when you were actually living them. You thought that was the good old days. You didn't think about it like that then. You thought maybe, wow, this is not that interesting, or, there's nothing really going on here. Nothing changes ever. Here, everything's changing.
Things are changing more than you realize. All right. If you're still on the planet, if you're still here, you were meant to experience this. People who cross over, who leave the planet, who it's time to go, they were not meant to experience what we're walking into now. This is going to be like a historical event. You guys, this is just the tipping point of it. This is just the beginning of it. Trust what you find to find us. What you feel is how your guides will be able to convey answers to you, direction to you, understandings to you, okay? But you've got to trust it. If you go, oh, I got that information, but it doesn't sound right. I mean, it doesn't fit. It doesn't feel right because it doesn't look like anything I've experienced in my life up to now. Right. Where you're going now, from now on, the old normal is over. So what do you feel? Trust it. That's how your guidance will continue to come through you. But you're going to miss it if you don't write it down.
When you show that you're feeling the moment, the emotions you're feeling in the moment, the thoughts you're having in the moment, how those thoughts make you feel.
A lot of it's junk. A lot of your feelings and thoughts are junk. You need to write it down in part 3 so you can see the junk coming out of you. The junk. This is junk. Okay, the next time you write in here, because you were able to purge the junk out of here and onto these pages, you move to the next day and you write for your 15 minutes in your journal in part 3, and you start to see clarity. Things start to clear up as you start writing, and you start watching your writing, and then you write the next day and the next day. And then what you do in about a week is you go back to what you wrote, and there's the junk, and then here's clarity, and more clarity, a little more junk, more clarity. You're going to see, this is like a health test. This is like a health test. This is going to walk you through. It's so simple. In fact, there's nothing to think about. You just let it flow through. Okay? And by the way, I want you guys to know, you keep this to yourself. This is nobody's business but your own. Because if you don't keep this to yourself, you won't write the truth. You'll make stuff up. So that whoever reads it, they'll still like you. They won't hold it against you. No, this is full on you, okay? This is all you. This is all the you could possibly allow out and start to show itself. You know, the junky part of you that's still the old normal, that still, you know, feels that old energy. You guys, it's over. Yeah. And I'll say this, by the end of this year, you're going to see just how much it's over. It's going to shock you. That's when this is going to be a lifesaver. If you did the writing every day for 15 minutes, purge this. Find out who you are. Watch the guidance show up in your writings. It's intelligence that doesn't exist on the planet, okay? It's the only way you're going to find it is if you start doing this one thing for 15 minutes a day. It's a non-event, you guys, but it's going to change your life.
Yeah, it will, because for the first time in your life, maybe you got the chance to slow down enough so you can observe what's going on and write it down.
Instead of following everybody else.
Instead of rushing all the time, being late. If you're constantly late for work or for school or
you don't want to be there.
Right. Well, yeah.
The truth is, you don't want to be there.
That's correct.
You haven't wanted to be there for a long time. Thank you, new normal. Okay?
A lot of people who are working from home now for the first time in their life are going to discover that they kind of like it.
Kind of.
And they aren't going to go back and put up with their boss, the people they worked with,
the bullies,
the driving an hour each way back and forth to work, to stopping at Starbucks and getting a $6 cup of coffee every morning.
It's ridiculous, you guys.
Because you want to stop because you don't want to get to work.
But it's so ridiculous. I mean, to even think about it, to even, you know, it should aggravate you just to hear Ray talk about it, like fingernails on a chalkboard. Ugh, stop, Ray. Stop talking about it. No more, Ray. You know, it's like the old normal. Please stop. It stopped. If you think it's coming back, it's not.
Right.
We're going to see a lot of breakdowns going on now. The old structures are going bye-bye. And they're going to hang on. And the government, you know, it's going to keep pumping money into it because it's an old structure too. They interface. They all support each other. They all crash together. All right.
Take a look at the service workers, who are millions of them out of a job because the restaurants closed, the bars closed, all the places they used to work closed. So what are they doing for them? Well, they're giving them unemployment. You know, was it $600 a week or something like that?
If they can get it.
If they could get it.
The promise.
The system can't catch up to it. So.
That's right.
Because it's broken.
That's right. It's breaking upon itself.
But if this goes on, this social distancing and the shutdown goes on for, say, another month or two, a lot of these people are going to get used to getting unemployment. Hey, I couldn't make $600, waiting tables.
Okay, where are we going with this?
Okay, they're not going to go back to those jobs. So those people who own those businesses are going to have trouble hiring people.
Here's what Ray's saying. It's a cascading event. Once one starts to fall, the sheer weight of it pushes the other one down.
Right.
And the people, start getting it in their heads where they don't even want it back anymore. Okay? That's what basically it's convoluted and it's chaos is really what it is, but it's going to reorganize itself in the new normal, in a new way that you will hardly remember. Here's an example. Here's a good analogy. Do you guys remember what it was like before the internet? Ray said it just the other day. Our internet went down.
Yeah, for like hours.
And Ray and I got in this conversation. We haven't even had time to talk. Like like really talk. We've been busy with, we talk about our dreams in the morning. We talk about, what we need to do that day and, what we need to arrange for it and all. But we haven't had that time now to really talk. We haven't done that in years, right?
No.
And when we did that, the internet went down. We had time to talk. That busy life that we live, as we do this work we do. So what would you do without the internet? We did a coaching session with a gentleman today. He said, since this whole thing went down, our families become closer. We actually started talking to our kids again. We have a family. They call it a family, but now this is really what a family is. He goes, it's really amazing how cutting out all the distractions gave us our family back. In his case, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying that something is happening for each and every one of you. If it happens to be something that is unpleasant, something where you need to face something and finally deal with it, then deal with it. Because you guys, it's to your highest and best good. You're being moved this way for a reason. You're going to see more of what that is. You're going to see a lot more of what that is by the end of this year. Some of it's going to make you feel really good, and some of it's going to make you really mad, okay? But it's called disclosure, okay? And it's disclosure for a reason. You're ready for it. It's time. The tables are reversing, okay? Those who had control over all the people, that kept us like slaves is what I really want to call it. That table is turning, okay? It's to your advantage, but you can't fight it. You can't try to keep entrenched in the old normal because that wasn't to your highest and best good. It was overworking you. It was stressing you out. It was making you sick. It was ruining your family. It was out of control, okay? So this is meant to be. Trust what you feel to find us. Your lifeline through this is finding us. That's your spirit guides and angels. And having that access to them so they can help you, so they can reach you. And as you're writing in your journal and you're going along and you're just writing in your journal for 15 minutes a day, you're going to look back at what you wrote and you're going to look at some of it and go, that was powerful. I don't know. I know that's all true, but I don't really remember writing it all down, or I didn't experience it like I'm experiencing it now, just 1 week later, reviewing it. This is why this works and moves you through this smoothly, intelligently, precisely, so that when something happens going forward and you feel like you're losing your way, you're getting knocked off your path, you're losing your balance, you go back to your journal and you read what you wrote and you remember why you're doing what you're doing, who you are, why you're here, what's really going on, what's the truth. And then you'll go back to this, where you're heading, where you're going, where you're being guided, and not where you've been. All right. Some of it's going to have where you've been, because you got to flush out the junk sometimes. You just have to go bleh, and get rid of it. Get it out of here. Put it in here. And that's how you're going to solve it. That's how you're going to heal it. So you can fully engage with the new normal and live the life you intended. This is the life you intended, the one you're being guided to move into now. Trust what you feel when you move that way. And that's when the guidance will come through. That's when you will find us, your guidance.
Okay. Two points kind of go together here. You can't, I know it's a little cliche-ish, but people say you can't heal it unless you feel it.
That's right.
Okay? So that means
some of it will feel bad.
Right.
Some of it will feel good, like I said earlier.
Well, a lot of that's a judgment too, because when your guides come through with some guidance or some clarity, a lot of times you don't want to hear it.
Well, that's because you're not used to the truth. You're used to being lied to. And then when you find out you were lied to, you're offended. But if you were told the truth at the time, you still would have been offended.
Right. Or it's not convenient.
The new normal is about you receiving the truth and never being offended.
Right.
Okay? It's the old normal wouldn't let you it wouldn't let you hear the truth, and it wouldn't let you tell the truth. Okay? Nobody wanted to hear about any of that. All right? This new normal is all about the truth. It's about truth and love. You guys, that's what this is about.
Okay, and the other thing is, what do you do when the internet's down? Well, you can clean out the garage. That's one thing. And
we did that too.
We did, I know. And when I found some of my old journals, not this time, but when I found some of my old journals in the past, which are out in the garage, I go back through those and I read things that I wrote, 10, 15 years ago, before we met.
Right, they were amazing.
And I read about some of the things the way I wrote them then, and that's not how I remember them now. I tend to make the history better.
You mean as you think about them? As time goes by.
As time goes by,
you start making stuff up.
Making stuff up. That's everybody's favorite college, MSU, making stuff up. Okay. So you go back and
that's the old normal. That's what we're going to leave behind.
I read that stuff that I wrote 10, 12, 15, 20 years ago, and I'm shocked. I go, that was awful. That was terrible that person did this or that. But now, you see, time will heal this. And maybe you remember it differently because you don't want to remember it the way it was.
So that's what you mean by time will heal it? That's what people meant?
That's what people, yeah. Sometimes they think
you just make it up because it wasn't so good, and that's what they meant by time will heal it. It's not healed at all.
Right. You go back and read it, and it rips it right open again. So writing it down is so important, whether you don't like what you're hearing or don't like what your guys are saying, or it's not convenient at the time.
Okay, so let me just summarize. That just means that there's parts of your past that still need to be, you need to get real with. I guess is really what Ray's saying. You look back and you think, well, that was really great, the family. No, it wasn't. It wasn't that great. Once you start writing down the truth about each family character, the character in the family, and you start to see who they are and write down what's really going on, as long as you don't share this with somebody, as long as you're telling the truth, I want you guys to know it's been a long time since you've been telling the truth. You haven't been allowed to tell the truth. If you had told the truth, you would have been condemned. You would have been fired from your job. You would have been divorced. Your kids would hate you. Okay, if you had been telling the truth. This is going to get you to where you can tell the truth, including your family members. You can tell them, I'm letting you off the hook. We all need to tell the truth. We don't need to pretend anymore and kid ourselves anymore. We need to tell the truth because our whole new normal is based on the truth. As soon as we can accept the truth, we can write it down, we can see it, we can purge it. The old normal will be easy to release. As long as you want to hold on to the fabrications of your past. You want to believe it was something way better than it was, just to sound better than everyone else, or, I really have a great life. And, I've seen so much of that. Underneath, they are in so much pain, pretending. The new normal won't let you do it. Trust what you feel and start telling the truth to yourself and writing it onto the pages. Change your whole life by doing that one thing. And your connection to your guidance is a byproduct of that. You don't have to look for it. It's there. Because your guides, they always open with, we come in truth and love. That's it. That's all there is. They know you can handle the truth. But we've been living in a coddled society that can't handle the truth. Oh, don't tell me anything bad. Oh, I don't want to know about that. What are you talking about? The truth is the truth. If that's the truth, then don't tell me to tell you a lie. or to sugarcoat the thing until it is a lie. All right? That's what we've been raised with, you guys. We need to put a stop to it. The old normal is over. It's time to get real with your life. All right?
Yeah.
How does that feel? You guys, put your comments in the feed. How does that feel? That's what's going on right now. That's what everyone that's not talking to each other right now isn't talking about. But that's what's going on, all right? You're really going to see, you guys are going to see so much truth come in. By the end of the year, you're going to go, holy cow, you know?
Okay, let's get back to the coddled feelings. Okay?
Ray's not done.
No, I'm not. You said that we have been so coddled
As a society,
from
the time we were born,
that what has that done? That has isolated people from their feelings, and then they can't make a good decision.
That's
okay? Right. When I played Little League Baseball, you either won or you lost.
Winners and losers.
That's right. That's why when they called you, you're a bunch of losers, you really were. You couldn't win a game the whole season.
It made you try harder.
Right. But nowadays, everybody gets the same trophy for showing up. Showing up and trying. Trying means, okay, we're having a big party Saturday night. Would you come? Are you going to be there?
I'll try to be there.
That's a no. Anybody who says I'll try to be there, yeah. Anybody who says I'll try to be there,
wishy-washy.
Right. That's an automatic no.
Wishy-washy is the old normal.
Right.
How did you like the old normal? Wishy-washy. Or the new normal is, I am who I am. I can be who I am. I love myself, and I'm going to live out my potential. Okay? And I'm not worried about what you think about me. It's okay if you need to think like the old normal because it makes you feel better than me. I don't care if that's what you're doing. I see right through it. You see, you guys, when you're living in truth and love, you can see right through that shallow stuff. You see the fakes right away. You're going to see them. You're going to find yourself walking by more people and not spending your time there because it's not a fit, all right? You're going to go where you're celebrated, okay? Not where you're appreciated, where you're acknowledged, and where you can be who you are, where you're encouraged to be who you are. You are only effective when you can be who you are. You guys don't even know what it feels like yet to be fully who you are. That's your new normal. That's where it's guiding you to go. So this is going to get real good, all right? And some of it, as you see the new normal go down and the truth come out, some of it will make you mad in the beginning because you have been lied to. The old normal lied to you, okay? Trust what you feel to find us, okay? That's where the truth is going to be. That's where the love is going to be. And write it on the pages. That's going to be what your lifeline, that's going to keep you stable and present and in the new normal. Okay, I'm going to move on with this. Is that okay with you, Ray?
Well, yeah. With that word coddled, you can also add politically correct.
That's right.
Coddling and political correctness kept everybody from making the right decision.
Or saying anything.
Or saying anything.
Right.
So you wouldn't hurt somebody's feelings.
Or get yourself in trouble. For me, as a young child, growing up in that horrible family I grew up in as a child, oh man, I could not say anything. And that's why when I got out of it, chapter 8 of Guided, it's all in there, all right? Okay, I'm going to move on with this. I'm going to make a few announcements before the guides close tonight's session about trust what you feel to find us. It's never been more important, all right?
A couple of comments before we get into our sponsors here. Heather says she just ordered the workbook on Amazon.
Oh,
yay, Heather!
Heather, sign up for my webinars once a month. I will be letting you know when they're out there, putting them out on Facebook. You'll see them come up. The next one's going to be amazing. No sooner than we finish the one we just finished, which was Stay on the Path last Saturday. The next one just came right through from the guys.
That one sold out, by the way.
Yeah, that one sold out.
First time we've sold one out. And now if you want the replay, it's on Linda's website.
And I'll announce that here.
Okay, so Heather just got the workbook. Oh, she says you also have to be unapologetic about who you really are.
That's right. Absolutely. That's right.
Who do you think you are?
Well, anybody.
Let me think about that.
Well, anybody who would make you feel like it's not okay to be who you are, move on.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
Run. And John says they're just wanting to make sure nothing better comes along. That's why they don't make it.
Boy, how many times have I heard that one? I've heard that one so many times.
Yeah, what if something better comes along? Oh, I don't know.
Is that sad?
That is sad.
God.
That says one thing. That screams that you're unhappy with what you have now.
Well, you'll never be satisfied.
Right.
Yeah, that's an empty person that feels like that.
Spiritually bankrupt.
Yeah,
as we refer to it.
That is true, Ray. And what else do we have, Ray?
We have a bunch of new people over here. Arlen, Pamela, Robinson, Marty, Herman, Maria. A lot of new names. Erica.
Really glad to have you all.
Glad to hear. Yeah.
And we always love your comments, like these guys left tonight. Comments and questions about what we're talking about. All right.
And how do you get that? What we're talking about? You gonna cover that?
Yes, I am.
All right.
Yeah. So we're gonna close the session with the guide's closing message from Ask the Universal channel tonight. But I've got a few announcements that you don't want to miss. May 5th. Join me. May 5th. I will be streaming live on my Facebook page, my Facebook timeline, and my YouTube channel. Use the search term Linda Deir. This will be a Q&A and commentary for next Tuesday's Insight, published in Linda's weekly Guided Insights, with me and my spirit guides at 6 p.m. Pacific time, so don't miss it. In Linda's weekly Guided Insights, my spirit guides will be talking about what recent realizations have you had about your life? This is how you're going to know. You guys get this book and write this stuff down. Start working in part 3. Right. So when we meet on Tuesdays with you live, you've got something to really hit us with, okay? The global shelter-in-place mandate has isolated people, giving them a chance to experience something many have never experienced in their lifetime. Total isolation and shutdown of the worldwide economy. Wow, that's amazing. You may debate how and why this happened, but that's not the point. You chose to be here at this time in your life in order to learn something specific to this lifetime. Regardless of how you feel about what has happened, whether you like it or not, you've had some realizations from it. All of you have had realizations from what's going on. I do want to say this one thing too. Your dreams are showing you tons of realizations. Write it all down in part 3, my guided journey in the my journal writing part. The dream, that's where the dreams go, okay? You guys, you're getting all the information. You're getting all the guidance. You just haven't been paying attention to it. Okay, so to start getting Linda's weekly guided insights, like what Ray just referred to, delivered to your email box each Tuesday. Sign up, it's free. Look for the link in the description of this video, Linda's weekly guided insights. Did you miss our webinar last Saturday, April 25th, entitled Stay on the Path, with Linda Deir, Ray Holly, and the guides? It's sold out. In this webinar, my spirit guides help you find your path. Your guides have been waiting for you to be ready to step onto your path. That's the new normal. The path is the only way. Look for the link to watch the replay of this webinar in the description of this video. And every other Thursday on our, we've got one more announcement. This Thursday, these happen every other Thursday, April 30th at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Join us on our Facebook private group, Ask the Universal Channel. The teachers of Ask the Universal Channel will perform the following. Kathy's spirit guides will talk about staying on your path. This thing about the path right now, the guides are talking about it a lot. Joy's spirit guides. Joy, it is clear to us that you have been focusing on the possibility of many losing the battle with the virus, either physically, financially, or emotionally. Please ask us, why can't we see the outcomes ahead of time to prevent a catastrophe? That will be interesting. And Veronica's spirit guides will discuss how we learn to tap into the energy of guidance. This event will be hosted by Linda Deir and Ray Holly. Look for the instructions on how to join this private Facebook group in the description of this video. All right, and now the guides are going to close the session with their closing message to you. And anytime you want to connect with your guides, loosen up your upper body, really stretch out any resistance in your body, let it go. The guides come through the back of your shoulders and through you, okay? So they come through your upper body. You've got to really loosen that up and breathe and try to catch that yawn breath to really let it go, all right? And here they go with their closing message about trust what you feel to find us.
People have such a hard time with trust. Truth is trust. Truth is love. They are the same. You can't confuse them. For example, you can always love someone who you trust, but you can't always trust someone you love. It's a feeling when someone tells you, I love you. Do you feel loved? That's how you make a decision. What gets in the way are pain and fear. As your pain increases, the fear increases. Now, fear is an illusion. It doesn't exist. It's in your mind, because most of what you are afraid of hasn't happened and most likely won't happen. But you put a lot of energy into the fear. So, if you want the pain in your life to stop believing in false things.
And that was the old normal. People were controlled by fear from the old normal. The new normal, you can't be controlled by fear. If you can be controlled by fear, you won't be here. You won't be able to hold the energy of the new normal. You guys are fearless. You're going to find that out. And the way you're going to find that out is you're going to start writing down 15 minutes a day. This is the check-in, the book of checking in with yourself, so you can finally see the baseline that you're at, where you are right now. So you can make better choices. You cannot make any choice that makes any sense. When it's just out of context all over the place, and you don't know, you can't remember, well, it was kind of like this and it was something like that, and I think it happened last week, but it may have happened a year ago. That's a mess. That's like coming home and throwing your groceries all over the house and say, yeah, I don't know, the ketchup's over there and this is over there. Our lives have been a freaking mess, you guys. It's time to start realizing what's going on, who you are, why you're here, so you can handle the truth. All right? Life has been a freaking mess. This old normal is broken, seriously broken, and all the structures are going to start crashing down. All right? And you're going to see it. And you're going to say, it'd be like trying to hold on to a raft that's waterlogged and it's sinking. That's the old normal, trying to hang on to that. It's not going to work. So you guys need to roll up your sleeves and be who you are and find out who that is and live it. All right?
This is an interesting book because it has little footprints at the bottom here that are walking backwards, walking this way, because this is the way you document your life and find your way back.
Right. That's right.
To where you came from.
And I haven't talked about part 2.
No, part 2 is
Part 2, we're going to get into part 2, but part 3 is where you can start where you are right now.
Right.
Once you start to see the patterns developing in part 3, you can then flip back through part 2 and go, which one of these chapters in part 2 seem to be what I keep getting hung up on? Rebellion, separation, compromise, the fear returns. Just when you thought that you had the fear under control, it returned. Okay, what caused it? The search begins. You're starting to ask questions. You're starting to wise up to what's going on and not just believe everything you've been told or expected to be from the old normal. The lights are coming on. The new normal is beginning to pull you, all right? And you start to see these things, and then questioning everything. There's that one, and then time alone. When time alone used to be dreaded, the last thing you wanted was to be alone on Friday night. Oh my God! Now you get your time alone. It's like, oh, I'm so grateful. I've got my time alone. I can breathe. I can think. I can write a little. I can have some peace in my life. I can see what's going on with me, so I can begin to move that way and be who I am and live this life that I intended, the one I bothered living this long to experience. All right.
There's that word, experience.
Yeah, experience, you guys.
You make decisions to have experiences, not to have stuff.
More stuff.
More stuff.
Debt.
Oh, yeah.
It keep you stuck. You can't sell it once you bought it. Now you got to take a big giant hit when you want to get rid of it. It's like, oh my God, and I'm still paying on it. You guys, credit cards and everything.
These times are going to show people where in the past they've made some terrible decisions, because if they're out of work, people are out of work now like a month, okay?
Yeah.
And they can't pay their rent or their mortgage. But pretty soon, if they're out of work more, they are going to be paying their credit cards, their student loans, their auto payments or truck payments, everything. And in a domino effect, all of these things will fall down and they'll have to start over. You
know what it is? I'm going to simplify it. When the tide goes out, that's the only time you can see the people who aren't wearing clothes.
Right.
Okay. The analogy, right? So when the tide goes out analogy with regard to this, when people have lost their jobs and they can't make the payments, they never owned anything. They were just in debt on this, that, and another thing. And now they can no longer afford the debt. By the way, these bills are not yours. If you are in a situation like this, these bills are not yours. All you have to do is give the stuff back and say, I can't pay on the bills anymore. Forget about what they call them payments or debt. No, they're bills. And the bill goes from 1 to 30 days, all right? Every 30 days you have to pay another bill to keep that possession. Okay, so you give the possession back and you don't have any bills anymore. Okay, so you don't have that truck or that car. Get a bike, get some exercise. I mean, if you really need to go somewhere, okay? Or, I mean, there's ways around this, you guys. We don't need all this old normal. You can't drag the old normal with you into the new normal. You can't. So you've got to write down what's your priorities. How are you guys going to, what is guidance showing you for starters? That is the starting point. Start writing about what's going on in your life, and you're going to see what guidance is telling you if you do it every single day. But you will not get it if you miss days. You'll miss it. Okay.
Okay.
You guys, we'll see you next Tuesday. Get the webinar.
Saturday, too.
And this coming Saturday, I'm going to be reading from Guided at 1 p.m. Pacific time on my Facebook page, my Facebook timeline, and on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. Linda Deir is the search term.
Nothing like hearing a harrowing story read by the little girl that lived it.
It's going to be chapter 4.
Chapter 4. Wow. If you missed chapter 3 and 2 and 1, you can go back and they're on your website.
All right, you guys.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Shelter in place. And don't
Right.
And don't touch your face.